She'll never say it, not in daylight, not with friends, not even when she's alone. But there's a secret every woman holds, a craving that doesn't come from movies or love songs. It's older than that, stronger than that. It's not about flowers, not about long texts, not even about being nice. It's about presence, masculine presence, the kind that doesn't chase. It pulls, the kind that doesn't ask. It leads. Without a word, it makes her feel something deep in her body. And the moment she feels it, her thoughts stop, her heart races, and her guard drops, even if she swore it never would. This is the truth most men never hear. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain. Most people think women want love stories, a perfect date, a guy who sends good morning texts and remembers her favorite flowers. Sure, she might smile at those things. She might thank you, but that's not what keeps her up at night. That's not the moment she replays when she's alone. What she secretly wants, what she craves deep down, is a man who doesn't just give her attention. He gives her direction, not with force, not with pressure, but with calm, with presence, with a steady kind of power that makes her body lean in without her even realizing it. She doesn't want to be the leader all the time. She doesn't want to explain how to touch her, how to talk to her, or how to make her feel safe. She wants to feel it before you speak, to feel it in your walk, in your eyes, in the silence between your words. And when she does, her guard drops, her breath softens, and her mind goes quiet, not because she's weak, but because in your energy, she finally feels safe enough to stop being strong. This isn't something she'll admit, not even to herself, because the world taught her to stay in control, to always be the leader, to never surrender. But her body still remembers that ancient pull to be with a man who doesn't chase her, but draws her in without trying. Most men miss the point. They're constantly focused on impressing her, trying to say the right thing, doing the right thing. They want to prove they're worthy. And so they give her their energy, their attention, their thoughts. But here's the thing. Women don't want that. They don't want your validation. They don't want to be chased. What they crave, deep down, is something more. She doesn't want you to be desperate for her. She doesn't need you to beg for her time. She wants to feel your presence, not your neediness. She wants to feel that you're a man with direction, not a man who's always looking for approval. You see, most men believe that winning a woman's heart is about what they say or do, the compliments, the flirty lines, the surprises. But that's where they go wrong, because what women respond to isn't your effort to please her. It's your energy, your ability to be still and be confident in yourself, regardless of what she does or doesn't do. Most men fail because they don't know this. They ask for permission too often. They wonder, is she interested in me? They check, did I do something wrong? They hope that every text, every word, every glance gets them closer to her heart. And that's the problem. She can feel when you're unsure, when you're looking for answers outside yourself. She can feel when you're asking her to tell you who you are. And that's not attractive, because real masculinity doesn't need to ask for permission. It doesn't look for answers in her eyes. It knows. It leads. And that's why most men fail. They try too hard. They wait for the right moment. They wait for her to signal. They ask, what's the perfect thing to say? What will make her like me? But the reality is, they're too focused on what they're doing wrong, instead of just being the man who doesn't need to ask for validation, being the man who isn't waiting for a sign to move forward, being the man who just leads. That's the secret. Women don't want a man who's always looking for approval. They want a man who steps into the room and takes charge, not with arrogance, but with quiet, grounded certainty. When you can be that man, the one who doesn't ask, the one who doesn't wait for permission, she will feel something shift. Her body will respond. She will lean in without even knowing why. And that's when she starts to open up. That's when you stop being just another guy and start being the one she can't stop thinking about. This is where Stoic energy comes into play. You don't need to be taller. You don't need to be richer. You don't need to be smoother. You just need to be. And when you finally understand this, you'll stop looking for ways to win her over. Instead, you'll be the man who doesn't need to win, because she'll surrender to you naturally. So, what's the secret? How do you become the man she can't ignore? The man who commands her attention without saying a word? The answer is simple. Presence. A man's presence is his true power. It's not about how many things you can say. It's not about the expensive gifts or the clever lines. It's about being grounded. It's about owning your energy. Women can sense when you're not fully present. They can tell when you're distracted, when you're unsure, when you're trying to impress her, rather than just being yourself. But when you show up with confidence, with certainty, with a deep sense of who you are, she feels it. Think about it. What's the first thing you notice about someone who exudes power? It's not their words. It's their energy, their ability to stand tall without saying a thing, their calm, grounded presence that commands respect. And that's what women crave. They crave a man who doesn't have to try to be powerful, a man whose very presence fills the room, a man who doesn't need to constantly reassure her, a man who just is. This is where Stoicism comes in. The Stoic path teaches us to control our own minds, to never let emotions control us, to lead with calm certainty. And this is exactly what women are drawn to. They want a man who can stay steady, even when the world around him is chaotic. A man who knows exactly where he's going and doesn't need to ask for directions. A man who knows that his purpose is bigger than anything else, including her. You see, this isn't about dominating her. It's about being strong enough to let her be soft. It's about knowing when to be still and let your energy do the talking. It's about walking into a room and making her feel your presence without saying a word. That's the kind of man who sparks attraction. But here's the catch. Most men don't do this. They get caught up in trying to please her, trying to win her over. They forget that their true power lies in the way they carry themselves, in the way they move, in the way they speak, or better yet, the way they don't speak. Their presence alone can make a woman feel safe, desired, and at ease. So, how do you get there? How do you become this man who commands respect without needing approval? It starts with one thing: self-mastery. When you've mastered yourself, your presence becomes undeniable. Stoic secrets show us how to let go of our need for external validation. We don't need approval from the world to know our worth. We don't need permission to act. When you walk in the world with this kind of energy, everything changes. She feels it. She starts to notice you. And soon enough, you'll become the man she can't stop thinking about. So, how do you trigger this kind of power instantly? How do you turn on the masculine energy that makes her respond to you before you even speak? The answer lies in one simple thing: presence. It all starts with how you show up. When you walk into a room, do you stand tall or do you shrink back? When you look at her, is it with intensity or are you looking for her approval? Do you hold steady or do you falter when she doesn't give you the attention you want? Here's how you trigger that response in her right away. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for her to smile. Don't wait for her to ask you about your day. You take the first step. You lead, and not with words, with energy. When you feel that urge to impress her, don't act on it. Instead, stand still. Calm your mind. Let the moment sink in. Allow your energy to take over. When you show up this way, it's as if everything else falls away. The distractions, the noise, the pressure to perform, all of it fades. What happens next is powerful. She will feel it. She will sense your stillness, your certainty. The fact that you don't need her attention to validate your worth. That confidence is magnetic. That's when she starts leaning in. That's when her body speaks to you, before her words do. That's when you're no longer just another man in the room. You become the one she can't stop thinking about. You have to take control of your own energy. No one can do it for you. It's about being aware of your surroundings, your emotions, your thoughts, and mastering them. When you can control yourself, you stop looking for external validation. You stop waiting for the right moment to make your move. Instead, you create the right moment just by being who you are. It's simple. When she's not giving you attention, don't chase her. Instead, stay grounded. Be calm. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. This is where the Stoic path becomes crucial. Stoicism teaches us not to react impulsively to the world around us. And when you stop reacting, you begin to control how the world reacts to you. By practicing self-mastery, you trigger that instant attraction. You trigger her subconscious response to the powerful masculine energy you're embodying. She can't ignore it. She can't resist it. And that's when the magic happens. So, the next time you feel that urge to chase her or to impress her, pause. Take a deep breath. Stand still. Embrace your presence. And let her feel that unshakable energy you've just unlocked. So, now you understand the secret, don't you? You understand that the number one female fantasy isn't about sweet words or grand gestures. It's about the power of presence. It's about the masculine energy that doesn't need to chase. It just is. And that's what triggers attraction. The real power lies in owning yourself, in controlling your own energy. When you learn to do that, you won't just attract women. You'll command their attention, not by asking for it, not by begging for it, but by embodying it. But here's the thing. If you want to activate this energy instantly, you can't just listen to this video and forget about it. You have to practice. This isn't something you get overnight. It's something you become. Every time you walk into a room, be present. Every time you speak to someone, stand tall. Every time you feel unsure, calm your mind. Let your body speak louder than your words. Become the man whose energy fills the space. Become the man who doesn't need to impress, because his presence already does. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Stoicism teaches us that true power comes not from fleeting moments of brilliance, but from steady, consistent control over ourselves. Now, if you really want to get ahead on this path, make it part of your daily routine. Start each day with the Stoic Journal. Use it to clear your mind, set your intentions, and remind yourself of who you are. As Ryan Holiday teaches in Daily Stoic, it's about practicing these principles every day. It's the Stoic path, a journey of constant self-mastery, building your mental strength and becoming unshakable. But don't stop there. Join the Stoic Community. Be around men who share the same principles. Learn from the Stoic legends, from King Stoic to Paths of Wisdom, to see how they've mastered this energy. If you want to trigger attraction when she's ignoring you, start by mastering yourself. So here's your challenge. Take a moment today to center yourself. Step into your power, own your presence, and let your energy speak louder than your words. Do this every day, and watch as the world starts to respond to you in a way it never has before. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you want to attract without chasing, if you want to become that man who is unstoppable, then you have to start practicing this now. The Stoic secrets are within your reach. Now it's time to use them. Hit like if this resonated with you. Subscribe to the Stoic Spirit for more insights on how to become the high-value man you were always meant to be. And remember, your presence is power.